And the shockwaves continue to be felt here at the 519 Community Centre following the arrest of Bruce MacArthur tonight. Canada's federal finance minister Bill Morneau, who's also the MP for this area, joined City Councillor Kristyn Wong-Tam for a town hall, but both acknowledged that the news of the murders today hung over the night's proceedings.
Today, for some of you, probably were reminded of some really troubling crime in this area today with what we found out is some progress being made on some pretty horrific murders last year. And just acknowledge that I know that that's probably something we're thinking about and not something we want to think about.
We are relieved to know that the police have a suspect apprehended, and in many ways it validates the concerns of the communities because it was because of their advocacy. They had organized search parties, they raised their voices on social media, they were demanding more policing and hopefully more effective policing. They had said, is this a serial killer? Can we, go to bed at night, restful? And so the community advocated for more and better policing.
And as mentioned, both the councillor and the minister were inside the 519 for a town hall tonight and a discussion on Toronto having a gender-responsive budget that ensures women's voices are also included when crucial decisions are being made about our city's finances.
I'm letting you know that there are other people who are worse off than I am, and your money is not going to us. And so whatever benchmarkers you're making, they're not hitting their mark. None of it, because none of it is trickling down to people like me who need it.
Her name is Akiu Maroon. She has 2 kids, and today she shared her story with Canada's Finance Minister Bill Morneau. Bills are mounting, she says. She has difficulties paying for and accessing services and care for one of her kids who is deaf and living with a physical disability. Also adding that she's been on a priority waiting list for housing for over 2 years.
If I can't live anywhere, I can't be safe. My kids won't be safe, and therefore we are going to be, moving from shelter to shelter. I won't be able to maintain a job. My kids won't be able to go to school, and so that affects every single aspect of our lives.
We know that as we try to create affordable housing spots, we don't solve the problem for everyone, and in fact, in many cases, our population, especially in places like Toronto Centre, is growing at a pace that's hard to keep up.
Affordable housing, long deemed a crisis in Toronto, was a talker for the second year straight at Councillor Kristyn Wong-Tam's town hall on gender-responsive budgeting. This year, Minister Morneau attended the talk to discuss how the government is implementing that practice at the federal level in policies that include housing and childcare, for instance. In 2016, Wong-Tam moved a motion to look at the budget using a gender equity lens, a first for Toronto. But the Ward 27 councillor says the city has been slow to respond to this request.
It's the second year that they've been directed to the work and the second year that they did not do the work. And I think it's just important to name it. It's important to call it out and say, look, you didn't do the work. The concept perhaps is something that you need to apply resources and researchers to.
And Wong-Tam says she's bringing resources to the table to discuss areas of concern that, in addition to housing, also include childcare and transit.
We know that in Canada, for example, well-educated women are not participating in the labour force in the numbers that we would expect, and there are lots of reasons for that.
So if we don't have a gender lens, not only to public policy, but also to budgeting and gender budgeting, those dollars are going to get funneled in areas that may actually miss the mark on ensuring that housing is addressed effectively for women in Toronto.
And Wong-Tam says achieving a gender-based responsive budget is a 3-pronged approach. The first being data and research, the next looking to see if biases exist and where they exist, and then implementing all of this in the budget. She says that she expects this work will take at least 3 years, but she is committed to see it through. Meanwhile, City Council will be voting on the current budget next month.